Welcome back, everybody. Texas Tom, American Truck Simulator, Vlog 8. Week number 8. To be honest with you, after week 7, I was a little down. The hired drivers were not panning out that I had hoped. Looked like things were going to be a little difficult with them. But what a rebound. Can't wait to show you how things panned out in week 8. And we even went ahead and hired a new driver right at the beginning of the week, which we'll talk about a little bit more. But week 8, the last 2 weeks, we've spent over $1 million, over $500,000 each week. So our starting balance for week 8 was $32,000. So our bank account is pretty much tapped out. Again, we were over $800,000 in loans. So we've spent all that money. We invested that capital. We're now based out of Fort Stockton and Corpus Christi. We now have a garage in Corpus Christi. Bought that at the end of week 7. So we have the potential to have 10 drivers working. And, southeast Texas and more northwest. So great footprint. Coming across some other areas where we might be able to expand in the future, places where we can get to Pioneer easy. So that's on the horizon. But this week, awesome. We were able to complete 14 loads for Pioneer. Either taking loads out of Pioneer or delivering to Pioneer. So that was great. Between 4 drivers, we got 14 deliveries, which now our contractual obligation is up to 12 deliveries a week. So that's what we have to get to. But based on what I saw week 8, I'm really excited for the future. Again, after week 7, I didn't know if this was going to work, but I think we're going to be okay moving forward. So week 8, personally, in my truck, I did almost 4,000 miles and 13 loads. That seems to be kind of the norm. Anywhere from 3,200 to 4,000 miles a week is what we've been seeing, and anywhere from like 12 to 19 loads is pretty much the norm for us. So I mixed it up a little bit based on some feedback. The driver logs, some are saying that they're hard to see. So I'll put this out every week as far as what each driver did on this template. That's what way it's kind of easier to see. So income, personally, I brought in about $180,000 on 13 loads. Felandia brought in about $70K on 4 loads. That's a great improvement. I really like that. Marion, 3 loads, $18,000. Marion seems to like to travel the map. Not too thrilled about that, but we'll see how it pans out. And then our new hire, meet Valentino. He took 12 loads and made $13,000, almost 14. So he had the loads, but didn't have very high paying loads because he's starting out and has low XP. But I like the fact that he is getting more loads than just 1 or 2 or 3 a week. So that is exciting. And we're going to look at how those loads panned out here in a second. Before we do that, also to keep track of who's driving what, here going into week 9, going into next week, here's the truck assignments. So I'm still going to be running the White Lightning. Felandia is going to be in the Silver Bullet. Marion, she's in the flagship Black Betty. That is the truck that we started with. So that's a truck near and dear to our heart. So hopefully Marion takes good care of that. And then the new Peterbilt came in. Valentino is driving the Orange Crush. So we'll go ahead and take a quick look at that right now. Okay, so we went over the numbers as far as how many loads and the earnings. But here is my driver's log for the week. Again, use the fuel tanker exclusively. That way all the other drivers could have their own trailer. So we have the fuel tanker trailer, we have the lowboy, and then we have 2 container carrier trailers. So I was stuck using the full tank fuel tanker trailer this week, but those were the loads I took. Out of those 14 contractual loads, I only took 7, so I was at 50%. That was nice. So some of the other drivers chipped in. I'll show you that. But here's where we went. Again, New Mexico and Texas, pretty much where we're staying. We started out in Corpus Christi at our new garage, came back up to Fort Stockton towards the end of the week, and then ended back up at Corpus Christi. Now we'll check out the other drivers. So here are the loads for Falandia for week 8. Again, 4 loads, but with the lowboy trailer was able to get some decent paying loads. Again, those boom lifts, those could really be beneficial for us if I can get lowboy trailers across the board. Fortunately, only one of his loads were Pioneer. Hopefully that grows as we continue. But gone to Utah. For some reason, Fort Stockton to Utah here seems to be something that the computer's giving him. Again, not happy with the 4 loads, but if he's going to bring 70,000 in, he's going to pay for his truck and pay for him in no time. So that's good. We'll be happy with that as long as the loads continue to pay. Okay, here's Marion's load driver's log for the week. Marion got the container carrier, not as lucrative as the lowboy, only brought in about 18,000. Again, like Falandia, one of the 4 loads was a Pioneer. Actually, it looks, yeah, only 3 loads. One load is still out, didn't come back yet, so that'll be on next week's log as well to see what that. So really only 3 loads for the week, but came back from Colorado, so that was a trip, and then headed back to Colorado. See ExxonMobil, so that's interesting. If we could get that crude or that fuel tanker trailer, if we could get crude oil up to that ExxonMobil, that would probably be a pretty well-paying trip. So that is Marion's. We'll look at our new driver's log here now. And here is Valentino's driver's log. So Valentino had a lot of loads, helped out tremendously with the contract. 5 loads. Again, I had 7, he had 5, so the majority of that contractual obligation came from the 2 of us, but he barely or almost brought in 14,000. Hopefully that'll pick up as he gets more experience. Again, he was limited as well because he had the container carrier, but those construction houses and those power generators are loads that are coming out of Pioneer. So we want to use those trailers to help get that contractual obligations as we go through. As you can see, 389 Orange Crush used that truck and trailer combo all week. Now let's look at the accounting report for week 8. Okay, week 8 accounting report. You can see expenses were drastically down. Again, we had 500,000 the last 2 weeks, over $1 million expenditures in 2 weeks. 192. We did not buy a truck this week. We're still rolling with the 4 that we got. We did hire Valentino there at the beginning of the week. We did have to do some truck and trailer repair. We did have a wreck. We had to call the tow truck in. It wasn't pretty, but we were able to get that squared away. Again, our loan payment is up to $12,799 a day. So basically, if we can get Valentino, I guess, to cover that, well, he's not, because that was his weekly earnings. Okay, yeah, so we need him to pick it up here to cover that. And then we did have more repairs throughout the week. Got to be careful with the speeds on the highway here. Some of these state highways are a little windy. But the more we drive through them, the more familiar we get, especially Interstate 20, getting familiar with that, driving that a lot. So that's the expense report. We got $125K in operating cash, thanks to the loans that we picked up and whatnot. So looking forward to week 9. Again, we did start out the week cash strapped a little bit. So until we can build up that capital, but we're looking to expand. I got an idea for some more expansion, maybe out east, and trying to get into different states to see what those look like as well. And obviously, we got room for 10 trucks, 10 drivers. We want to get those full as soon as we can to maximize that space. Hey, appreciate everyone for watching, following along with the Texas Tom journey, Pioneer Resources. If you like the video, what we're doing, give us a like, subscribe. We're going to keep it going. Also, if you have any ideas, any other companies in the game that you think would be interesting to do this kind of same setup, contracted driver, let us know, because we're bouncing ideas around here to see, what would be kind of challenging but not impossible. This is turning out to be manageable. We'll see how these hired drivers pan out, but we appreciate you taking the time, checking out the video, and we'll catch you on week 9.